another beautiful evening, so we're here to plant more in the garden. We have some hot peppers. Yes, they look, some of them a little bit post, but that's okay. We're not going to eat them. We're going to plant the seeds. We actually don't know what kind of hot peppers these are. David sent me out and said, bring home some hot peppers so that we can plant them. So I did, and the package just said, peppers hot. We have no idea what these are, but we're pretty sure they're going to be hot. So hey, if you know what these are, tell us in the comments section, because we'd like to know.
They're not like Scotch bonnets or habaneros.
No.
They're a different shape, unless it's a variety I'm not familiar with.
Right, it could be a different variety, but they're
big.
They're
big and they're very pretty.
They're big.
Interesting. All gnarly looking.
And they were green and red like this. So when I bought them, and they were fresh. But like I said, it doesn't matter now because we just really bought them to plant the seeds. Yeah, but it would have been nice to have tried them first, then we would know what we were planting.
Life got away from us.
It doesn't matter that much. We were going to plant them anyways. We probably would have planted them even if they were nasty. Because we have this compulsive, have to plant every single seed from every single plant thing going on. So
yes, it's true.
It's for you, the readers and the viewers.
So what is the bag of slop you have in your other hand?
Oh, that was like from the first week we were here when you said, bring home some jalapenos. So I did. And
they've been fermenting in the refrigerator for 3 months. Yeah. So which means they're ready to plant at this point.
Well, maybe, how tomatoes, there's that method of...
it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Just let them rot into slop and then plant them.
Yeah.
Like all the seeds that come up in the compost pot.
Yeah. So
all right, there's one more thing here.
One more other thing.
Which is a cantaloupe that started to rot that we got from market. And it was already a little soft when I got it. And apparently this cantaloupe grew locally. And I was going to eat it, but then I forgot it. And it sat on the counter. And yeah, we are...
We've got 3 things here that have spoiled, so we're planting the seeds, right? But in our defense, I busted my toe when we had this cantaloupe.
That's true. This is the toe cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Let's see what the inside looks like. Yep, we've got seeds. So we're going to try growing some cantaloupe. Looking good. Just take this slop right out and plant it in one of these beds. I think I'll plant cantaloupes in here. And then I can maybe stick some stakes and grow them up on the fence and see how that works.
Oh, that'd be fun. I've always wanted to try that. This is the bed there where we had...
Fire ants?
This is the bed where we had the beans.
Our beautiful purple beans.
Those purple beans where we just clipped the stems right at the dirt, the edge of the earth.
I just want to make sure that the weeds are all nicely decapitated before I plant anything else. I also want to rough it up a little bit so the seeds will be good. Ooh, there's those fire ants are coming over the edge now. Sons of guns. Figure you're in the tropics, you want to wear sandals. And the next thing you know, everything in the world bites you. Place where I should be wearing a spacesuit. Looking good. I've harvested some of these ears of corn already for seed, and I'm going to harvest the rest of them and cut the stalks down so I have some more room to work. One of the great things about grain corn is that it makes a lot of biomass for compost piles. So I can take these stalks, stack them up, and pile other things on top of them for compost, and they help hold some air in as they decompose. It's kind of a double benefit of grain corn. It's got multiple benefits. This is one of my prime ears here. I've been waiting to harvest it, and it is ready. Take a look and see what we got. Look at that. That's crazy. That is a pipe corn ear. You can see it's been too wet. Some of these up top are actually starting to sprout. but we'll dry it out and save these seeds, and we can plant them in the dry season and see how they do. That's pretty awesome. Might just use them as mulch right there.
That's not a bad idea.
Squish them right down. Keep the weeds back. Of course, it doesn't feed anything really that way.
No, but you know what? If you had a row garden, I suppose you could use them as mulch in between your crops.
In your rows, yeah.
And that would feed the soil and mulch between your crops.
This one, the ear rotted right off. Didn't even do anything. This one's probably got a few kernels in it. Don't step in your bed. Here's another big one. Look at that. Look at the one sprouting at the top. Tiny little corn plants trying to go there. Look at all those rows. Look at how huge that is.
That is a really pretty one.
That's a display piece there.
That's the prettiest one I've seen yet.
That is gorgeous. And that's a flour corn too, for cornbread and cooking. Very storable for a long time.
It's a dent, looks like.
Yeah. It's dent corn. That's beautiful. Now this is the way I plant cantaloupe. Take the guts and throw them all over the bed where you want them to go. Just like Mother Nature. Then we'll select down to just a few later. If you've ever had a compost pile, you know that melons like to grow out of the remains of rotten melons. There's no reason to overthink it. As a matter of fact, there. Grow in the path. So what are you thinking? Just scatter them across here?
Sounds good to me.
In between the beets and everything?
Yeah.
Look at those guts. I'm gonna end up getting burned fingers. Just throw the seeds out here. Throw the peppers out. See what we get. This is probably enough to plant a lot of space if you're careful about it, but we'll let nature sort it out. It's pretty easy to identify what a little pepper looks like when it comes up, so we're not likely to hoe them down. I'm not using a string trimmer on these beds.
Yeah, we don't know how hot these are. They might be so hot that just picking the seeds out would cause you
don't think I'm gonna lick my
Burned
fingers.
fingers. You're not gonna.
Not this time. No, that's.
What if I dare you?
No, it's rotten. I don't want to do it. Not even for YouTube. You're one to talk about daring on YouTube. Run away as soon as you break your toe.
Well, I didn't really run.
Limp away as soon as you break your toe. Whoops. Drop the hot peppers on your toe. You really don't have to overthink your gardening all that much. Tend to just throw stuff and then thin it out later. We'll hoe this around so they go into the ground some. And then in a few weeks there'll be little peppers all over the place. Pretty easy. Alright, here goes the jalapenos. Oh, look at all those guts. It's all full of seeds. It's like, you know, when they have those cake, they call those the frosting things, you just kind of squeeze the rotten pepper through. Yeah, that'll do it.
Pastry bag. Piping bag. That's what it's called, a piping bag.
Piping bag. Piping bag peppers. Still seeds in there, see? Yeah, I know it looks redneck. We're just playing around. If we were actually doing this to survival garden, instead of for experimentation's sake, we would be counting every seed. We would be preparing things very carefully. We wouldn't let weeds grow. We have a lot of other food here though, a lot of trees and things, and there's no need to think it up too much in the short period of time we have to come out and work on the annual beds. It's not that big a deal. This will work. It's just a little more exuberant than perhaps would make sense if you really needed to grow food. We don't really need to grow a lot of food now because we already have a lot of food growing. This is a easy way to do it. This is sort of like compost pile gardening. Make the whole bed a place and we just thin it out as we go. As I'm doing this, I'm smashing them up so the seeds get spread out, as you can see. And I'm gonna go do the same thing on the cantaloupes. And then in a few weeks, I'll bring you guys out here and you can see how this turned out. All right, Cromwell, I hear you. And there we go. Have cantaloupes before we know it. These here are Celosia argentea, also known as quail grass, which is a relative of amaranth and spinach, and it's a fantastic green. And I found these growing in a lady's flower garden by the side of the road when I was walking, and I told her you could eat them, and she looked at me like I was crazy. It's a very good green. There's some of the seeds there. I'm going to just sow them on the surface. And they tend to become actually invasive, so that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm just going to tear up the flower stalks, let the seeds fall all over here, and then we'll select out what we find later. And the little teeny black seeds fall to the ground usually, and they just spread the plant all over the place. If you've ever dealt with pigweed, it's very similar. You let them go to seed and they're going to come back, which is great because we eat them. You know, if you get too many of them, you just eat them. No big deal. Just shred them all up and drop them all over this bed. And then I'll hoe them in just a little bit to rough them up and get rid of the weeds that are already there. There we go, all planted.
Thanks for joining us in the garden this evening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us on the web at thesurvivalgardener.com. And until next time, keep growing.
Life finds a way.